Hey everyone, here is the BAF Ultimate Green Goblin from the very first wave of the Infinite series, original and bootleg or KO. This bootleg has been around for quite a while, since 2014 or 15, slightly after the original came out. So if you were to buy this figure from another toy collector or from any online platform, here are 5 different ways for you to spot the bootleg from the original. First off are the flame effects. For the flame effects, for the original, it is more translucent and shiny. You can see how glossy it is under the light. But for the bootleg, you can see that it is matte and it is not as translucent as the original. Then from here it's quite clear, you can see my finger behind the flame. But for the bootleg, it's harder to see. So that's the difference between the flame. More translucent and more shiny or glossy for the original, and also slightly softer. But for the bootleg, slightly harder, less translucent, and also the orange is slightly darker and the paint is matte, not shiny at all. This flame goes on the back just by placing it on top of the back of the figure. So yeah, same thing for the bootleg version. The bootleg flames fit on the original figure also. Same goes for the other two arm effects. Lighter orange, translucent and more glossy. Darker orange, less translucent and not shiny for the bootleg. Second difference is the paintwork. For the original, the paintwork is slightly glossy or shiny and the green is more vibrant as compared to the bootleg. For the bootleg, the green is slightly dull and less shiny. But for the original, you can see that the green is more vibrant. Another thing about the paintwork is that the spikes are painted well for the original, on the shoulders as well as the chin. But for the bootleg version, you can see that the paintwork on the chin is off. It isn't painted well. Same goes for the spikes on the shoulder. You can see the beige color kind of doesn't go all the way down the spike as compared to the original. And also the chin. Yeah, look at that. The paintwork of the spikes on the chin of the bootleg is not painted well compared to the original. Next difference is the letter at the gap of the elbow. If you look carefully here, you can see the letter R engraved inwards at the gap. This is the bottom part of the R. And there's an L as well. There. And it is debossed or engraved inwards. But for the bootleg, you can see there is no R at the gap. But on the other side, there is an L. So that's one way to spot the bootleg. There is no R on the right elbow. And while we are at the elbow, you can see the paintwork of the spikes here is also not painted well as compared to the original. Fourth difference, for the bootleg, the hip joint is really loose. There you can see how loose it is, the ball hip joint. And the hands are also slightly loose. There you can see that the leg can actually shake. For the original, nothing like that. It is quite solid. This is tight. Same goes for the arm. And last but not least, I think this is the easiest to spot, is this part over here at the knee joint. This part is green, but for the bootleg version, it's actually blue. So this is one very obvious way for you to differentiate between the authentic and the bootleg. The color at the knee area over here. If it is blue under the knee joint, it is the bootleg. Green, authentic. If you were to buy this figure on eBay or any other online platform, you can always take a look at the back of the figure, especially at the back of the knees. Because it's quite obvious, you can see the blue part. This is the bootleg. For the authentic, it is green over here on the inner side of the pants. Same goes for the other leg. There is green. This one is totally blue. Yeah, I know there is a bit of blue here, but it is mostly green. especially on the other leg. Despite all these differences, the bootleg Ultimate Green Goblin is actually quite a solid figure. At a glance, it's quite difficult to tell them apart, and the quality of the figure is actually still quite decent. And furthermore, it's actually quite cheap on AliExpress or any other platform. I think it's less than 20 USD. So if you were to buy this figure from another toy collector, you can always check out for these signs of bootleg. Thanks for watching. Do check out my other comparison videos. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.